Hola! Welcome to the Good News Roundup. We have 5 great positive news stories for you today. Firstly, we show you around the Parisian restaurant turning unwanted food into high-class meals for those most in need. Then we go to the UK, where a massive pilot project could see the working week reduced to only 4 days. EU workplaces, meanwhile, could soon be seeing an increase in female directors after gender quotas are applied to boardrooms. 4 Latin American countries have come together to create what they are calling Nemo's Highway, a vast nature reserve that will protect migrating sea creatures. And finally, we bring you news of a groundbreaking kidney transplant technique that could eliminate the need for lifelong immune drugs. Picture this. You are about to be served a 3-course dinner cooked and designed by Michelin-starred chefs in one of Paris's most stunning churches. Welcome to Refectorio, a community kitchen with a difference. The Refectorio Paris sits in the crypt of the Church of La Madeleine. Both a project for social inclusion and an outstanding restaurant, it is only open to people in situations of vulnerability.
Il faut imaginer le Refectorio comme ce qu'il est, c'est-à-dire un véritable restaurant gastronomique. Au Refectorio Paris, le dîner est absolument gratuit pour nos invités. On reçoit des hommes isolés, des adultes isolés, des hommes, des femmes, mais aussi des mères avec leurs enfants, des familles avec leurs enfants. Les personnes qui viennent dîner tous les soirs de la semaine au restaurant sont orientées par des associations et par des travailleurs sociaux.
Refectorio's goal is to transform surplus ingredients, which would otherwise be wasted, into gourmet, healthy and seasonal meals for the people that need them most. With the help of a volunteer team, which sometimes includes the likes of international movie stars, they serve over 100 meals a day, using about 130 kilograms of recycled food. Food for Soul, a non-profit organization founded by celebrity chef Massimo Bottura and his wife Lara Gilmore, is behind the Refectorio movement around the world. And French artist JR joined them as the co-founder of the Paris location. As well as its chef-in-residence, Maxime Bonavry-Duval, more than 100 famous guest chefs have joined Refectorio since its launch in 2018. Big names include Alain Ducasse, Yannick Aleno, and of course, founder Massimo Bottura. Their challenge is to use the available ingredients to come up with a dinner menu of which any restaurant would be proud of.
Le Refectorio Paris a la chance d'avoir beaucoup de bénévoles, donc c'est vraiment une chance fantastique et vraiment un grand merci à tous ces bénévoles qui nous aident quotidiennement.
Most of us can only dream of working in a 4-day week on the same pay. But for some 3,300 employees in the UK, it's now a reality. 70 UK companies have officially started the biggest ever 4-day week trial. And researchers from Cambridge University, Oxford University, and Boston College will study the impact of the reduced hours on productivity and the well-being of its workers, as well as on the impact on the environment. They hope participants will maintain their productivity levels while working 80% of their previous hours. Until now, the largest study of this kind took place in Reykjavik in 2015 and 2016. More than 2,500 workers were involved in the trial, and it led to important changes in Iceland. By 2021, 86% of the country's workers were either working shorter weeks or had contracts that allowed them to reduce their hours. Gender equality came a little closer to reality this month, with a European Union agreement to apply gender quotas in the boardroom. The legislation requires listed companies in all 27 member states to have women in at least 40% of non-executive board positions, or 33% of all board director roles by mid-2026. In cases where candidates are equally qualified for a post, priority should go to the candidate of the underrepresented sex. The good news is that last year, EU data showed women occupied 30.6% of boardroom positions across the bloc. But the downside is that it varied widely from one country to another, with Cyprus having only 8.5% of women in the boardroom, and France more than 45%. France is so far the only EU state to go over the new threshold. In a massive boost to marine wildlife, 4 Pacific-facing countries have created a vast underwater reserve dubbed Nemo's Highway. It is the result of an agreement between Costa Rica, Panama, Ecuador, and Colombia, set up to protect migrating fish. Scientists have discovered a network of natural sea corridors that covers thousands of kilometers, recording the passage of creatures such as turtles, hammerhead sharks, manta rays, and whales. The marine species traveling along these underwater routes have long been in danger from intensive fishing. But these zones will ensure that endangered species are not at risk from trawlers. There is still work to be done elsewhere, however.
Once the animals move away from these protected areas, they are vulnerable to overfishing and to human activities. So why don't we regulate and why don't we protect these highways underwater that connect the different key areas?
With luck, the efforts of Costa Rica, Panama, Ecuador, and Colombia will set an example to the rest of the world. Our bodies are ruthless when it comes to rejecting infections and anything they consider to be foreign to the body. This is great for battling cancer or sneezing out dust, but creates problems for transplant patients who have to take anti-rejection medication for life. But 3 children who have undergone kidney transplants in California, however, might be spared this, thanks to an innovative technique that eliminates the need for lifelong immunosuppression. Ordinarily, after the successful transplant of a kidney or other organ, the next critical step is persuading the body not to reject the organ. Doctors describe immune tolerance as the holy grail. This groundbreaking procedure was carried out by scientists at Stanford Medicine on 3 children with an extremely rare genetic disease. Around 3 years after the transplants, the children's kidneys and the immune systems are functioning normally. In other words, their bodies have not identified the newly donated organs as a threat worthy of attack. The treatment used at Stanford isn't new, but it hasn't had this kind of success ever before. Though the children's disease is very rare, experts in the field of kidney transplantation say the results seen in these kids hold tremendous promise for transplants in general.
I strongly believe that this approach can be broadened to other diseases in terms of kidney diseases. And then in our plan, we have to apply this technique to other solid organs. So the ability of abrogate the risk of graft rejection and to eliminate the need of immunosuppression really open the door to a life without further complications, which is really incredible for these patients.
If you've enjoyed this roundup and want to hear more good news, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Let us know in the comments and share our stories with your friends. And if you've got a positive story you think we should share, send it to us by commenting below. And remember, it can be hard to find among the headlines, but some news is good news.